Welcome to my fledgling YouTube channel. In this video, I will show you 3 of the structures I built for the town of Creede, Colorado on my layout. You know the drill. If you like this video, hit the like button. If you don't, hit the dislike button and leave me a comment explaining what you didn't like. Feel free to subscribe. I might even post another video someday. First is my build of Kelly's Saloon by Design Preservation Models. I primed the entire structure using a light gray primer. Then I painted the bricks using a torn grout sponge to dab on a variety of colors. Finally, I applied thin washes of black and raw umber. Next, I used a 5-0 brush to paint the wooden trim a light green and applied a darker green wash over that. I painted the window lintels and cornices a concrete gray. More black and raw umber washes finished the trim. I used blinds and printed window signs from City Classics, except for the address. I printed that on my color inkjet printer using white text on a black background. Second is my build of Skip's Chicken and Ribs, also by Design Preservation. I love this kit because it is the only DPM kit modeling a clapboard structure. I painted this building by brush, but I used 2 different shades of yellow to give it a faded look. Then I applied a thin wash of raw umber. Anytime I have a building with large windows, I try to create an appropriate interior. For this building, I created a shadow box interior using Inkscape. Then I copied images of drugstore interiors and pasted them to the walls. I pasted small advertisements above the cabinets. I found all of these images using Google. When that was finished, I printed the image on 80-pound paper and cut and folded it into a box. I glued a small counter and 2 figures to the floor and glued the completed assembly into the building. Here is a shot of the completed Inkscape file. The sign on the front of the building is a piece of styrene with Rexall decals applied to both sides. I painted the edges orange, then dabbed rust colors around the edges of the sign. I attached the sign to the building using wire, which I painted a rusty brown. Third and last, here is the first building I ever scratch built. As I mentioned, I really like the DPM model of Skip's Chicken and Ribs, and so I decided to build a slightly smaller version of that building. I started with a storefront kit from Foss Scale Models and used clapboard siding from Northeastern Scale Lumber and windows and doors from Tichy Train Group. I painted this building in off-white with dark green trim to contrast with the DPM model. Once again, I found I needed to create a building interior. This time I used the liquor store from the Roomette's Arlington Hotel kit. I had to trim the interior to fit my building, but this is easily done. I used a Tichy interior door on the back wall to add a 3D effect, but I'm not sure that was necessary. Details are important. They add character to your structures, and they give your viewers something to discover. This building vent is by Blairline, and it comes in 2 laser-cut pieces. I painted the fan blades aluminum and rusted the edges. Then I painted the grille to match the building trim. Paint a small black patch on the side of the building, then glue the assembly in place for an effective 3D look. I like to add scuppers and downspouts to commercial buildings with a recessed roof. This downspout was a metal casting from Woodland Scenics. They are not available separately. I've also used 3D printed scuppers from Shapeways and styrene strip for the downspouts. Although the DPM kits are nicely detailed, they lack an important feature you'll see on older brick buildings. Star washers are installed on large brick walls to prevent the walls from bowing outward under the weight of the wall. These washers are attached to cables that run across the building in the floor space. Here you can see the washers on a building which is still in progress. No building is complete without signs. These signs were all printed on regular paper using a color printer. I sanded the back side of the signs until the paper was as thin as I could make it without tearing the sign. I glue the signs to the buildings using matte medium. Since matte medium dries clear and flat, it doesn't matter if it extends beyond the edges of the sign. Once the sign is in place, carefully burnish it to make it conform to the building surface. Sometimes you need a sign which is transparent. In those cases, I print the sign on clear decal film and seal it with 2 coats of dull coat. Then cut and apply the decal as usual. I have included links to all the products I used in the description below. I hope you've enjoyed this video, and I would love to hear your comments. Thanks for watching.